Hi, I'm Brad, and welcome back to the garage. It's January of 2023, so it's a good time to kind of lay out what's going on with the channel for the upcoming year. The Jeep project, phase 1, is finally complete. It left the garage under its own power. It runs, it drives, it stops, and arguably most importantly, it stays parked when it's stopped. So I am very pleased with that, but it means that I'm not going to be focusing as much on the Jeep project because I have a lot of other stuff around the garage that I'd like to get done. Now, of course, the Jeep project is not going away. There's still a lot of work to do. It needs a roll bar. It needs a top. The windshield could use an overhaul. The suspension could use an overhaul. You can't see it from where you're at, but even without me sitting in the passenger seat, the Jeep leans to the passenger side. The suspension is just done. So there's no shortage of other things to do. So no worries there, there's still Jeep stuff coming. But there's still a lot of other stuff I want to do, and that kind of brings me to the name change. Now, I mentioned this a little bit in episode 73, which a lot of you didn't watch, and I don't blame you, because the thumbnail was the emergency brake again, the final fixes for the first drive. Believe me, I am just as tired of that emergency brake as you guys are, and I'm just glad it's done. But the channel name, I think, does need to change. So in the early days of the channel, when I was just starting out, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I needed a name. So this is a garage, and it's on a steep hill. Garage on the hill. It's kind of obvious though, I think. Kind of low effort. So I have a new name in mind, which I think fits perfectly for the kind of things I do. The new name is going to be Sunk Cost Garage. Now, the Jeep's name is actually Sunk Cost Fallacy. I kind of came up with that about halfway through the project when I came to realize this Jeep, when I bought it, it was a parts Jeep. Yeah. But I'd already sunk so much money into trying to fix it up here and there that I just kept going when maybe financially it didn't make sense. And that's kind of what a sunk cost fallacy is. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but in business and in project management, you get a project that's maybe not managed very well, you're over budget, you're behind schedule, and business-wise, financially, it doesn't make sense to continue on with that. But someone has to pipe up and say, but we spent all this money already. We can't just waste that money and stop doing the project, Not a great example, but the federal government, that's a great example. There are so many things in the federal government that are sunk cost fallacies. But I digress. A lot of what I've done around here, project-wise, tool restoration-wise, just fits that perfectly. I mean, half of the little tools I have sitting around here were a couple of bucks at a flea market, and I spent hours cleaning them up, priming them, painting them, making them perfect, when realistically I could have just gone to the hardware store and paid a few bucks to get something brand new and modern that would perform the same purpose, So a lot of these things are sunk cost fallacies. I should not have gone through and fixed a few of these things, but I did. So I think the name change is going to be good, and coming up in the next few weeks, you'll start to see the new logo and the channel name. I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to actually change the name in YouTube, but you'll see the new logo pop up here and there. So just be aware of that. Now, that doesn't mean that really anything's going to change. I think the format of the videos is probably going to remain the same. The types of content I do will probably remain the same. You'll just see a few more of the little tool restorations and, well, more little Jeep side projects. We'll talk about that in a minute. I was fortunate enough to find a local guy with some Jeep parts. So Here's a preview in the dark of a few things that might get worked on soon. But here's the big one. I know it's dark, but that's a skid plate. My Jeep didn't come with one, so that thing gives me some off-road potential. I really need to rein in some of the chaos here. That there's Jeep parts everywhere. There's some combat wheels hiding behind this bandsaw. There's some Jeep parts. There's some Bantam parts. There's some more Jeep parts. Jeep parts. Don't look at that. That's something for another video. But there's more Jeep parts. And look in there. There's another wheel. Jeep parts. I put up this shelf to hold all the Jeep parts, but it became paint and chemical storage. I'm sure there's more Jeep parts hiding in there. So I gotta rein in the chaos. And that'll probably require some changes in the garage soon. I do want to continue to grow the channel. It's been kind of a nice hobby or brain break from my full-time job, which does sometimes spill over onto the weekends. And that's why I sometimes don't have the time or daylight or brain power to do Jeep stuff all the time and do videos and stuff. But it has become a neat little hobby, and I do want to continue doing all this. So I'll be coming out with some videos soon that will be hopefully entertaining, informative, educational, or whatnot. And we'll see where this goes in 2023. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the likes, the subscriptions, the comments. The YouTube algorithm does work in strange ways. And all those comments and likes, they really do help the channel grow. So thanks again, and I'll see you all on the next one.